One critical thing about the forages is the dry matter content, well, the content of moisture. When you treat high moisture samples, it's very important that you both treat your sample well, you take it for analysis quite quickly because it changes quickly, and also that your NIR analysis, when you build up your calibration models, that your NIR analysis are very close in time to the reference analysis. Otherwise, the sample will change between the NIR analysis and the reference analysis. And that is also a challenge when you evaluate your results. If you take a sample out on the farm, it will change quite a lot before it gets to the laboratory. Dry forages will become easier just because they have a lower moisture content. But if we also talk about the different methods that you can build your models on dried forages, that you take the wet forage, pre-dry it, and then measure it on NIR analysis. That is a method that is easy to get good results on your typical parameters like ADF, NDF, crude protein. You will get better results on that than measure on the wet forage sample. And because when you dry your sample and grind it, that will make your sample more homogeneous. And the sample presentation is the critical part. You want to have a homogeneous sample to measure on. I think the sample presentation is the most critical part of the instrument. You want to measure as much as possible of the sample. That should mean that you want to have a large cup for the wet forage, a large cup and measuring on many different points. It should be easy to pack the sample homogeneously in the sample cup. And it should also be, as I said, a large surface to measure on, so probably you would need some kind of a sample presentation where the sample cup is actually moving to be able to measure on different parts. As the NIR light is measuring on a quite small surface in itself, so you have to move the sample around to measure as much as possible of it. It's a reflectance NIR, and the light source, I think the important thing is to have the surface which you measure flat, and that is easier to have the light source from underneath, of course, because it's easier to pack the sample.